I get asked this question all the time. I mean, honestly, all the time. Like, all the time. And the crazy part is that the answer really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's not the thing that's actually preventing you from doing what you want to do. You just kind of let it be. Hey Google, I'm leaving.
No problem. I'll keep an eye on everything.
So you probably want to know what the question is though, right? We'll get to that in a second, I guess. Gotta get my daughter from preschool though first.
They don't make them quite like me, babe. They don't make them quite like me, babe. Is this the first time that we met? I make sure you...
All right, so I got here a little early and all right, fine. So let's answer the question. What is the question that I don't think matters, that I get all the time? So it's about video because stirred up a little video conversation over the last couple days and got a lot of questions. So I thought, let's address them. Hold on. So my buddy Jose, Jose Vila says to me the other day, Jose says, focus. Apparently that's backwards and I can't read that on there. Jose says, I want to start my own series of agency videos and I want to know what software you use for editing your videos. I appreciate your input. Well, thanks, Jose. I appreciate you asking the question. But this is the question I get all of the time is, how do you edit your videos? And I promise that that is probably the easiest question that you will answer when it comes to creating videos. So first off, to answer Jose's question, I personally use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit all of my videos. I've been using Adobe Premiere Pro for about 2, maybe 3 years. Before that, I used Adobe Premiere Elements, which is a light version of Adobe Premiere Pro. Even moving from the Premiere Elements to Premiere Pro, there was like a 2-3 week period of my life where it was not fun. But again, the Elements version is definitely powerful enough to get started. I used that for 4 or 5 years. I don't care what you use, right? As long as it works and as long as it gets a video out the door, then that's the video editing software you can use. You know, I also use Camtasia for some screen recording stuff. That's very easy, very, very light on the computer resources. So the one note on Adobe Premiere Pro, it does make your computer hate you. So just be aware of that. That could cause some problems. But again, it is the most powerful, option. Also, for all the Mac users out there, ScreenFlow is the kind of Mac version of Camtasia for the most part. The reason it doesn't matter is because any free editing program, any editing program that allows you to cut out the stuff you don't want in your video and put together the stuff that you do is going to work just fine. I mean, that's 90% of what editing is cut here, remove the thing you don't want, usually a mistake, and then put something together that looks nice. The trickier part is what you're putting in between those things and filming that and the sequencing and to making a better video. Not that that's necessary. Again, most of it could just be you talking like this, cutting out the times that you screw up, like maybe what I've already done. You might have noticed the jump cuts, and sometimes you don't even notice them. That's all you're doing with your editing. So to have that be something that even comes close to holding up the process, no, it doesn't, it's just not, it won't get you anywhere. But the thing to keep in mind, right, if you are going to make a choice, you have the 2 big editing programs that you're going to choose from. On the Mac side, Final Cut Pro, and on the Mac and or PC side, Premiere Pro. That is obviously the big draw for Premiere, is that you can use it on a PC and you can use it on a Mac. If you are a Mac user and you learn Final Cut, then you're basically tied to the Mac ecosystem. Now, if you're like a true purist, a true I don't know, whatever the word is. If you never envision yourself owning another computer that is not a Mac, then fine, I guess, go ahead. But you could potentially put yourself in a box to where you are forcing yourself to stay in the Mac ecosystem, to not learn a new editing program, which might suck. Again, just quick side note, you might, for those of you paying close attention to Agency Nation, Ryan has actually been editing all of his episodes of the show with ScreenFlow. the Camtasia equivalent on Mac, just basically up until the last 2 weeks. He's been, I think the last 2 episodes of the show he has edited with Adobe Premiere Pro, and he's been learning that. So basically solidifying my no excuses, just pick something, get editing, it doesn't matter. I gotta go get my daughter now. So I'm glad I got here early enough to give you that. I gotta go.
You don't want someone who needs fix with broken bones and loose bricks. I got one hand on the wheel, but I'm a race car driver still. On I go. You don't need to say sorry, don't need to face the facts, don't need to call more, don't need to take it back, don't need to say it hurt, don't need to be alone, just scream bloody murder, I'm your one-way ticket home. Way ticket home. They don't.
Hey Google, I'm home.
It's about time. I was getting lonely.
Make 'em quit like me, baby.
There's one question that I don't get asked very often, if ever, and Melissa wants to know that if she primarily hosts her videos on her blog via Wistia, it's pretty good stuff, should she create shorter ones that redirect the traffic to her site? I've been going back and forth on this, probably overthinking it. Originally, I was going to upload the same videos to YouTube, but then I thought I want my site to rank higher than the YouTube version. Then I started thinking, well, my keywords are pretty competitive, so either ranking would be good. I can simply redirect them to my sales page or my blog post. My blog posts do have each video as a header, though she doesn't want to be redundant, though. That's a serious question. And I like this question. This is actually a question that I have kind of sparred with another fellow insurance industry person that you might know, and I kind of want to get his take on it real quick, and see what he has to say. So maybe we should do that. Let's see if we can give him a call real quick.
Can I get a shot with you where you're talking about that? I think that would also be extremely beneficial because it's not just sales oriented, it's now service oriented. Those are the reviews I'm chasing. I don't care about sales stuff. But hey, yeah, Ken, let's do this. If we want to reconvene, let's reconvene. I got to jump into at 12:30 if you don't mind. No worries. And if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. I can respond that way too. All right. No worries, man. You too. Bye.
Nick, how you doing, sir?
Sorry about that. I wear the headphones so you don't get any feedback, hopefully.
Nick.
How are you, man?
Good. Tell me why. Tell me what you think about Wistia videos versus YouTube videos.
I think they are both incredibly valuable. I think that they have different strategies. At least I deploy them for different strategies. Anytime that I need somebody to complete a specific call to action or complete something very specific, I use Wistia. Anytime I'm looking to integrate automation, I use Wistia. Because I can capture things like name, email address, I can integrate it with different automation platforms that we use. So I like Wistia for that. That's something that YouTube doesn't have the functionality for. Whenever I need to get a message across in a bigger, if I need to cast a wider net, then I use YouTube because I think that's what YouTube does really, really, really well. YouTube is great for kind of getting that megaphone and shouting out loud, whereas I think, or casting a wide net, where I think Wistia is really good for if I'm fishing for individual fish. That's where I think that's kind of the difference between the two. Another thing that Wistia does that I have a preference for, again, no right or wrong, just preference, that I have a preference for is my Wistia videos actually outrank my YouTube videos in a lot of cases. And when videos show up in search, because they use the same, not to get too technical, but they use the same coding, then it directs people to the actual page where the content is, as opposed to taking them to my YouTube channel. If I'm trying to build subscribers, YouTube is great. I'm not trying to do anything for YouTube's brand. I want to do stuff for my brand on my home field, which is my website or my other content platforms. So it takes them to where that video is hosted, which I think is also, in my opinion, an advantage for a lot of things.
Thanks, Nick. That was good stuff.
You're welcome, Joey.
So that was fun, right? So me and Nick, and you're going to hear this on the podcast coming up in a little bit. So there's spoiler alert. Nicholas Ayers will be on the podcast whenever I get to his call. But we went at this topic pretty good for a while, and I thought, since Melissa asked this question, I thought, well, let's open it up to some other opinions. Nick, obviously enjoys Wistia. I'm a big believer in Wistia. I just prefer to use Wistia, and to answer your question, Melissa, I prefer to use Wistia for everything behind the opt-in form. I want to track those videos, everything that is prior to the opt-in. I prefer to use YouTube for. Why? I don't know. It's just that feels like the place that is right. It's, are you building brand or are you building utility, right? Are you going to build something? And I don't know that there's really much of a difference in the insurance space, because essentially your brand is your ability to solve a problem, and how you solve a problem is by delivering information that makes somebody's life easier to, solving an insurance, situation faster than the next guy, easier than the next guy. And I don't know that, the platform really matters. The way that I kind of explain it is, if you watched a movie in the movie theater, or if you watched it at home, are you going to leave that movie with a different experience? Are you going to not have an experience because you watched the movie in a different place? I'm going to say probably not, right? I mean, if you're watching The Notebook, you're going to bawl your eyes out, right? You're just going to sob, maybe, if that's your thing.
Why didn't you write me? Why? It wasn't over for me. I waited for you for 7 years. And now it's too late.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year.
You wrote me?
Yes. It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
Whether you're at home or whether you're in a movie theater with other people in an uncontrolled environment, or if you're in the comfort of your own couch, I guess I'm a little maybe idealistic on this, that if you're creating the right type of content, it doesn't matter where somebody is engaging with it, experiencing it. If it's doing what you want it to do, if it's creating that connection, if it's sparking the notion that they should talk to you, then they're going to do that regardless. I think that ultimately should be at the goal of everything. It's like, am I delivering something? Am I being good enough about delivering this thing to make somebody trust me enough to where they want to talk to me? If not, then I think it doesn't matter whether it's Wistia or whether it's YouTube. I don't think it matters, because they're just going to forget about you. You didn't create that reaction. You didn't create that feeling. You didn't create that emotion, much like watching that movie did.
I just stick around, just see, babe.
So one bonus tip is, when you talk, so this is more like actually making the video than where to put the video and how to edit the video, but always talk to a person. Always address, like you, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to we, to them, to us, to the independent agents, channel, whatever. Like, it's always you. And I think, talking about that connection and, regardless of platform, I think when you talk to a specific person, because only one person is going to be watching this at a time, a group of people don't collectively watch this video. You're watching it by yourself. Maybe somebody's watching it with you, but you are watching this video. So I'm going to talk directly to you and not everybody else. And that's, one thing, you guys didn't, nobody asked this question, but I felt like giving a bonus tip, because the first two questions are really good. Just talk to you. Talk to you need to talk to the person that you are trying to, I'm talking to you. You need to talk to that person. Right?
I don't make a quite like me.